Alright guys, today we're doing something a little bit different. Recently it came to my attention that a popular looksmaxxing YouTuber by the name of FaceIQ made a reaction video to my how to eat like a model video, and let's just say that he had a lot to say. But instead of throwing insults back and forth, let's break this down scientifically. Now he had some strong opinions about my content, but instead of getting caught up in personal attacks, let's go through his arguments one by one and see if they hold up to actual science. He criticizes my point about hydration and eating water-rich foods like cucumbers and watermelons because he claims that they cause bloating due to fructose and glucose. On top of drinking water, you can eat water-rich foods like cucumbers, watermelons, and oranges.
Wow. Okay, so this video is now a 0 out of 10. So let me explain how water retention actually works. For every gram of glycogen stored, you store 3 grams of water, and he just recommended foods with fructose and glucose. So these foods will lead to higher water retention.
Now let's get this straight. Hydration helps reduce water retention, and eating whole fruits does not cause bloating unless you're consuming them in excess or have a specific sensitivity. Watermelon and cucumber are diuretics, meaning they help flush out excess water. The idea that eating a few pieces of fruit is going to make you hold on to excess water and make you look puffy just isn't backed by science. Water retention is more strongly linked to excess sodium intake and poor hydration than it is to consuming whole fruits, so that claim is debunked. At one point in the video, he claims that eating fruit is going to make you gain excess fat because bears eat berries before going into hibernation. This is one of those arguments that sounds logical but is actually nonsense.
Another reason they will bloat you, because fruits were eaten seasonally to put on fat for the winter, the same way a bear eats berries before hibernation to put on fat. You look at great apes, they only gain fat during fruit season. This is common sense. This is anthropologically well known and established. So obviously you should never eat fruits if you're trying to get a lean face.
Bears gain fat because they enter a caloric surplus by eating massive amounts of food in a short period of time. The average human eating a banana or some blueberries isn't the same as a bear eating thousands of calories to prepare for the winter. The key driver in fat gain is total calorie intake, not the consumption of fruit. Next, he downplays the role of lean proteins such as chicken, fish, eggs, and Greek yogurt, and claims that fat is more important for a chiseled face. You need to lower your overall body fat, and that starts with a high protein diet. Foods like chicken, fish, eggs, and Greek yogurt.
So what's more important than the protein is actually fat.
Now healthy fats are great for skin elasticity, but the main point of the video were foods that help in facial definition, and reducing overall body fat is important for that. Protein helps preserve muscle mass when you're in a calorie deficit, which is important for overall definition. There's no debate here. A high protein diet is going to aid in fat loss and muscle preservation, which is going to help you stay lean in the face.
Now, he just spoke on adding collagen powder. If only there was a food that naturally had collagen in a bioavailable form.
And as for collagen, yes, you can get it from whole food sources such as steak and bone broth, but it's easy to supplement it in the form of collagen powder. There's nothing wrong with using it. Here's where we get into some real nutritional misinformation. He claims that plant-based fats such as olive oil, avocados, and walnuts are useless because they're not saturated animal fats.
All of those are plants. They're not fat. Plants do not have fats. Yes, they have oils, which are within the fat macronutrient category, but they're not saturated animal fats, which is what you're made out of, what you need exogenously. We don't ferment plants again.
The reality is that monounsaturated fats from sources such as avocados and olive oil have been linked to reduced inflammation and improved skin elasticity. And his idea that your body can't use these fats just isn't true. And by the way, these are the same fats that are found in the Mediterranean diet, which is linked with overall heart health and longevity. So unless he has some groundbreaking research that is going to overturn decades of nutritional science, I'd take his claim with a grain of salt. He also claims that since our bodies contain saturated fats, we need to be consuming large quantities of saturated fats from animal sources, but that's not how human metabolism works. Your body is capable of synthesizing its own saturated fat from excess carbohydrates or fats. It doesn't rely solely on dietary intake. In fact, Studies show that the consumption of monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats from sources such as avocados, nuts, and fish are good for overall skin and heart health, while excess saturated fat consumption is linked to a high LDL cholesterol and a higher risk for cardiovascular disease. So balance matters. Certain foods also help you burn fat naturally. For example, green tea contains catechins, which are known to boost metabolism and reduce fat, especially in stubborn areas like the face.
Do you think boosting how much energy you need is healthy? Increasing your base metabolic rate isn't healthy. That's literally a sign of sickness, dude.
This is one of the strangest claims in the video. He says that raising metabolism by consuming foods such as green tea and spicy foods is unhealthy because raising metabolism is a sign of sickness. Boosting metabolism through thermogenesis is a well-documented phenomenon. Green tea's catechins and capsaicin found in hot and spicy foods has been shown to increase fat oxidation and calorie expenditure. This is why professional athletes and bodybuilders tend to incorporate these foods into their diet. Claiming that increasing metabolism is bad is just scientifically incorrect. Finally, he has an issue with my recommendation of eating anti-inflammatory foods. Load up on anti-inflammatory foods such as spinach, kale, and berries.
Spinach, again, the highest oxalate content. Kale, not as much oxalates, still a lot of anti-nutrients and oxalates. Berries, more oxalates and pesticides and fructose. Wow, terrible recommendations.
Here's the thing, oxalates can be problematic for people who have kidney problems, but for the majority of people, they're not going to be an issue in normal amounts. And these foods contain beneficial things such as vitamin C, fiber, and antioxidants, which are all linked with skin health and reduced inflammation. So for him to say that these foods are bad is a massive oversimplification. It's like saying water is bad because you can drown in it. Look, I'm all for open discussions, and I respect different opinions, but when someone makes bold claims that contradict basic nutritional science, I have to call it out. If you guys want more evidence-backed, looksmaxxing advice, then stick around, because I always break down things with logic, not dogma. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe, and comment down below. Let's keep the conversation going, but let's keep it factual. Until next time.